Welcome, friends. In this episode, I'm going to talk about a post-event reflection that we can do. So, welcome to the Grief Coach podcast. And I know that a lot of the few episodes before this, I talked a lot about having a game plan, deciding if you want to go to an event or not, and then how to kind of take care of yourself during that event. So, what I want to talk to you about today, since this episode will come out the day after Thanksgiving, I just want to pause and have a few reflection questions for you to ponder or think about. I do find that if you write things down, our brain just processes it a little bit different. And so it can be more helpful to write it down to really dive deeper. But even just taking 5 minutes today or sometime this weekend can really help us reflect and say, oh, like I really did show up for myself this way. I did this really well. I like that. I'm going to incorporate that into more things. Or also to pause and say, yeah, I would have tweaked this a little bit, or I think this could have gone a little better. So that's what I want this episode to be today. You can bookmark it so you can come back to it after any kind of event. If it is somebody's anniversary party and you're worried it's going to trigger you into you have a plan and you go into it, or any kind of holiday, any celebration that you participate in. Maybe it's even something like I want to incorporate more things of my faith and I want to get more active with that. I want to do a Bible study, but I'm nervous about it. And how did it go, right? Like, would I do it again? Would I not do it again? So I'm just gonna kind of read off a few questions for you guys to, like I said, either journal about or write down or ponder. And you could just write the answers down or just have kind of a piece of paper or a notebook where you're like, yeah, this worked really well, and I want to make sure to write that down so I don't forget it next time. So, first off, I want you to think of a few things that went really well, like some wins. And I know your brain is going to be like, oh, I can't think of anything. So that's normal. But even the fact that you kind of had a plan going into it, that you showed up for the event, that you had something that you're like, I'm going to try this. Maybe even the fact that you brought a water bottle along, that was something that was a win. So I want you to just try to think of a few things that went well, even if it's like, I made sure I had gas in my tank. I had enough gas to get there. I allotted enough travel time. I didn't stress out about driving like I normally do or typically would do. That's just a few things, right? Just start playing back in your mind the event, like starting when you left or when you were going, leading up to like completion of the event. So as you kind of are walking through it, start picking out things that you're like, oh yeah, that was a win. Oh, that was good too, right? So just things that went well, and then think on those. So the next question is, where did you find some peace or some freedom? So this would maybe be something like, oh, when it got to be a bit too much or people were asking too many questions, I stepped away and I went to the bathroom. Or I remembered Nicole's voice in my head and she was like, I just pictured the feeling that I was having and I gave it a name, or at least I was aware of it. So those are the things that I want you to also jot down and recognize, like, oh, I had peace around that. And maybe if it's something that you would want to work on in the future, but at least to note that part of it went well. Okay, then the next question is, where did it feel hard or tense? And I want you to really get specific with this. Think of things that just felt hard or overwhelming, or like, yeah, I was really anxious about this. And this being, I was worried about my mother-in-law making comments, right? Like, again, walking through that moment, like step by step to dive deeper and say, because our brain's just going to want to be like, well, this was a problem. Or, well, what does this mean? Okay. Did anything surprise you about how you felt or how you showed up or how you acted? So maybe you're like, oh, wow, I was really tense leading up to it, but at the event in the moment, like I really enjoyed my time and I had a good time. There was one time where I felt a little tense when somebody said this, but overall, like I was surprised at how well it went. Or even I would say on the flip side of that, right? Like, did anything surprise you in the negative a way where it was like it really took me longer to get there than I thought, and the drive then I just was really tense. Um, and so that surprised me, right? Or um, oh, when they brought out, I'm going to use Thanksgiving for an example since it was just yesterday, but when they brought out this pie, like, oh, I remembered my mom always made that pie, and I felt sadness over pie, and that surprised me. So, again, get specific in that. Then I want you to reflect on what thoughts helped you stay connected to God. And so, for this, we really need to slow down the event. We need to really look at, okay, what went well? And when it was going well, what was I telling myself or what was running through my mind in those moments? So maybe somebody made a comment and you're like, oh, I reacted well to that. Why did I react well? Well, in my mind, it was so fast, I didn't think about it, but it was just the thought of, oh, well, they're entitled to their opinion. So that thought, like people are entitled to their opinion, other humans will have other thoughts. Like that kept me tied to God. That helped me feel peace. That kept me in the moment. Maybe even it was a thought like, just focus on right now. Just stay present in this moment. So things like that. Or if there was a prayer or a verse, I know a lot of times for me, when I do feel a lot of high tense and stress, it just kind of runs through my mind like, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. And that's one of my go-to ones that I rely on a lot. So also write those down or think on those. So next is what would you want to tweak or try differently next time? And again, this can be something so simple as, oh, next time I'm going to go to an event, I want to make sure that when I come home, I block off the whole afternoon and most of the next day because I didn't realize how exhausted I was going to feel, how tired I felt, like just having a lot of emotions come up and feelings. And so I'm going to block that time off to take care of myself. Maybe it's more on the front end of I'm going to make a list ahead of time so I don't feel scrambling out the door and I have a list. Maybe it's I'm going to make five like go-to phrases so I have those ready to go when people say things or don't say things, right? I had somebody the other day who was saying how she had a miscarriage and nobody in her family, I think one of her sisters acknowledged it because that sister had also gone through it, but like nobody else even acknowledged it. And so in that, she's like, I have a lot of resentment and I don't want to show up a certain way. So it's okay. Next time I would have some go-to phrases. So when people say things, because they will, or they won't, right? Like they'll either say nothing and you're upset, or they'll say something and you're upset. So either way, I just want you to see how like we're bothered by it either way because we're just at a very heightened emotional time right now. And so, what are my go-to phrases when somebody makes comments? What are my go-to phrases when somebody doesn't make comments? And I wish they would have acknowledged it. So maybe that's something that I want to have different next time. But I just, with all of these things, with every event we do, there's always something that we can learn from or tweak for next time to help take care of ourselves. So I just wanted to leave you with that. And also, I like to have like a time where I write like a prayer of gratitude or just like pause and thank God for just all the things, all the blessings in our lives. And I know that a lot of times it's hard to see that and it's hard to feel that. But with every event, even if it's something I don't want to go to, like it's an event that I'm kind of dreading, or it's something that like my husband's really looking forward to, but I am not interested in it. It's just even the gratitude of having a husband who wants to share his excitement with me, or the gratitude that we have a vehicle that can get us there, or that we were able to have money to buy the tickets to the event or to do the thing. So there's always a way that I can kind of twist it to have some sort of gratitude, even if I'm not always feeling it in the moment, just to pause and thank God for that. And then also to offer up and surrender all of the feelings that maybe aren't so gracious, right? And just be like, Lord, the rest of my heart just feels heavy, and that's all I have right now. I'm exhausted and I'm tired, and I want to offer that to you as well, because that's all I have right now. So, all right, you guys, I hope you had a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. I'll be praying for you, and God bless.